Welcome back to Hidden Parts of the Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Monet, and today's episode is going to be off the hook. It is dedicated to the holidays, the Christmas holiday. And I am excited even more so because I have my mini-me, Kaela Rashawn, who's joining us today. Christmas for our family is really, really special. It's special for me because of the memories that I have as a young girl with my family, but more importantly, my grandmother, who is no longer with us. Holidays were so special to her, which makes them really special to me. I remember as a little girl believing in Santa Claus until I was probably 11. My younger brother had to tell me that there was no Santa Claus. In fact, he found where my mother hid our toys. And he forced me to go in that closet. He forced me, Mommy, to go in that closet and look at all the things that you bought for us. So I hope there's no little children listening, but that was the day that I found out that there was really no Santa Claus. But anyway, it's still a really, really good time together with your family, with your loved ones, just going out, running here, running there, trying to find that perfect gift. Kaela, what do you think about Christmas and how do you feel about it from a little one on up to present?
Christmas was lit. Being an only child, Christmas was fun. I remember, I like when we used to bake the cookies for Santa Claus. I don't remember when I found out he wasn't real, though.
You don't?
Yeah. I don't remember, what age.
Oh, okay.
I do remember having speculations one time when we were staying at the house on 40 when Angel spent that Christmas with us. I remember we kept trying to run downstairs to see what y'all was doing, but I don't know when it was confirmed. Nah, he is not real.
I for surely thought you knew.
No, I don't remember.
I don't even think we had the conversation though, did we?
I don't think so, because it's just thanks, Mom. One year it just went from thanks, Santa, to oh, thanks, Mommy. I don't know. I don't remember what age it was, but it was cool. It was lit. But I do remember one specific Christmas, I was bad that year. That year I was bad. It was the year that the Wii's came out.
Oh.
And I wanted that Wii so bad. But report cards, administration, they know what they're doing, because they could have waited till after the new year to give out report cards and stuff. But report cards came out right before Christmas, and I wanted that Wii so bad. And you got me the Wii. Let me open it up for Christmas, but didn't let me play it until I got my grades together. And I was it literally sat on the table in the living room for months. I don't think I didn't get to open it until close to my birthday.
Which is in March.
It was she got it for me. I was so excited, but I was like, dang.
Was I that petty? Did I put it under the tree and everything?
Yes, Mommy, you literally wrapped it up, and it was but you're not playing it because and I'm like, dang, I really got to get myself together. I got this Wii. All the kids going back to school, they're like, yeah, I got a Wii. It's so cool. I'm like, I got a Wii too, but I ain't. It was crazy.
So do you remember, like, after Thanksgiving, every Thanksgiving you would spend the night with Auntie? Because I told you that I had to take your list to the North Pole.
No.
Yeah, so on Black Friday, I would do all of your Christmas shopping, or at least most of it. I'll be out there with all those people, standing in all those lines trying to get Christmas gifts on Black Friday, y'all. It'd be cold.
Fighting over
Nintendos, whatever it was, the hottest thing on the list. But Thanksgiving, you would spend the night with Auntie, and I would be up 2 a.m. standing in somebody's line. And I think one year you just had to have what was that pink thing? It was
a video now?
Yeah, a video now. Oh my goodness, I went through so much, and she played with it for about 2 weeks, and it cost a lot of money back then. I think it was probably like $150, which was a lot to a single parent because I was at the time. But 2 weeks.
I mean, something else probably came out, and I was a kid. You still have it though.
I do, because I think it's going to be a collector's item.
Yeah.
Just like those other dolls that I have.
She did not play with dolls. About dolls. I did not like dolls, and I was always gifted them because I was a little girl. So I mean, what else do you get a little girl? But I looked at it like, oh, thank you so much.
And I have all those dolls.
But I had never opened a doll box ever. I did not. They were creepy to me. I don't know. The only time I remember playing with dolls is when I was at Aunt Tina's house, because Aunt Tina had this bag of like dolls. It wasn't much to do at Aunt Tina's house, so you had to like figure out something. So that's the only time I. Well, really
you did use those dolls when you played school, though.
Yeah, because I needed somebody to yell at.
Speaking of which, this is changing the subject, but yeah, she was not a horrible child. She really wasn't, but she got into some trouble. But the trouble I had was punishing her. So I remember one summer, she did something in school, and I took everything out of your room. You remember? And it was so hot. I was like, I can't take the fan. So I was like, just go in your room, stay in your room until I say come out. And she started singing in the fan. She played Beyonce. So she's turned the fan on. She's standing in front of the fan singing. I'm like, I can't punish her by taking the fan. She would die. I was like, I can't even get to this kid. So you were in punishment, but still having fun.
Yeah, well, I think as an only child, you sort of are used to entertaining yourself anyway. So like I only had a sibling, and that was after I was already 12, 13. So half of the growing up school stage. And so I grew up an only child, and I only had that sibling every other weekend. So it was really just like an only child. So you get used to entertaining yourself because it's only you. So you gotta make your own fun.
You did that.
I was in there yelling at imaginary kids, playing school, singing in the fan. I was doing anything.
Do you remember Khalifa?
I do not.
That was your imaginary friend.
Why was her name Khalifa?
That's a good question. That is a good question.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Khalifa.
Why? Maybe I wanted it to be like Kaela, sort of, but why was
I
it
don't
Khalifa?
mean no disrespect if there's any Khalifas out there, but that name was horrible. I don't even know where you came up with it. It was horrible.
I do remember Stephanie Braxton. That was my first alter ego, honey. I had to, in Spanish class, Kaela wasn't a Spanish name, so I had to pick a Spanish name, and Stephanie was the one I picked.
Yes, and you came home and you said, why didn't you name me Stephanie? I don't like Kaela. I'm Stephanie now.
But don't you think that kind of would have been lit, Stephanie Stevens?
Yeah, but Kaela Stevens is better.
It is. It's nice, but I'm just saying. I was like, at that age, I was like, that's kind of cool. That's squared, like Shawnee Stevens. That would have been lit. That would have been cool. I'm just saying. But that was my first alter ego. Yeah.
Okay, Stephanie.
Well, I'm super fly now.
Oh yeah, still with an S. And you are super fly. So Christmas, like when did you come downstairs? Did you wait for me to go to sleep or did you?
Once I was asleep on like Christmas Eve, I was asleep. I didn't like wake up until the next morning, crack of dawn, and I woke you up.
Mm.
I like, hello. I know you probably just went to sleep, but the time says Christmas. It's time to go.
Do you look forward to doing stuff like that with your own family when you have one?
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to experience some anxiety though, because it seems like a lot of work. Like,
It is a lot of work.
it seems like a lot. Like, having with friends who have like kids now and seeing like what they go through, it's like, this is a lot. It makes me want to hold up a little longer.
Okay, but thinking of all of the work involved, do you appreciate it? Like
Oh,
as a kid, you didn't have a clue,
right.
but you wake up and it's all of this magic,
Yeah.
and it was just like, could you catch your breath? Like the memories surrounding all of that.
Yes.
Did you feel like it was worth it?
It was
All of the
definitely,
work us
yes,
parents go through to
for
make
sure.
it. Oh, okay, good. Ooh, I was about to say.
For sure.
Yeah,
No,
it is
seriously.
fun creating the vibe. It is fun.
Yeah. And it's probably rewarding just to see like your children's like bright faces and smiles when they open up like the gifts that they like, oh my gosh, I wanted this. Like, it's probably rewarding to see that too though.
Oh, okay, yeah, it is. It is. Oh boy, but it is hard work wrapping and then giving Santa all of the credit.
Yeah.
It's hard work, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Celebrating Christmas or any holidays is really about relationships. You got to have a relationship first anyway to want to celebrate. And obviously, Christmas is the day that we as Christians chose to celebrate the birth of Christ. So it's all about love. And without relationships, there's really no, if you don't have relationships that you have love within those relationships, it's all for naught. So I consider myself really, really fortunate. There were times where I was living paycheck to paycheck and I couldn't afford to buy anything until like my payday would hit right before Christmas. So I'd be running around making sure that you would have stuff. And I still found myself fortunate because there's some families that either don't have that kind of love for someone so much that they would be willing to do that, or that they're just not fortunate enough to have the extra income. You know, do you have that experience? Like, did you have any friends or anything like
Yeah,
that?
so like growing up, I definitely noticed the difference in like the excitement of leading up to like Christmas break versus like the kids who did come from families who were able to, and then those kids who knew Christmas wasn't going to be all that. The kids who had to, sort of grow up a little faster because they didn't have their, their parents didn't have the means. So I definitely noticed the difference in that I was blessed with knowing Santa and all of those things. So I definitely was able to see the difference. And then of course coming back to school, you getting fresh gear and stuff like that. You see the kids who got new coats and new kicks, and then kids who are still rocking things because their parents weren't able to afford it. But I definitely was able to see the difference. But I'm sorry, I'm switching lanes. But what I did notice, I was just talking to my dad about it the other day, is like I never knew, even if we like were struggling, I could never tell, like ever. Like in middle school, I remember specifically when the John Hopkins thing happened. I did not know that you didn't have no job. I was going to school, coming home. You weren't home. It was like regular programming, like, and then you coming home, like you just came home from work. Like, I did not know. And you know, I love hot dogs and beans. So we was eating that. I thought it was just because I wanted it. Like I, I had no idea ever. So I was like, I know that I was blessed, or that I am blessed, because I am. I just knew that, like, as an adult looking back at that and knowing the things I know now, it's like, yo, I was really blessed because I had no idea. I still was getting new clothes, new shoes. I still was kept up. I still was eating good. I could go home and turn on my SpongeBob. My flip phone was ring ding dinging. Like, and I had no idea. Like, seriously.
Yeah, that's definitely another episode that I could have to talk about the things we do to protect our children. Because you had no idea.
None.
But back to Christmas, your situation was really unique. And it's important that I hear your feedback on this, because you were so blessed that your dad and I had divorced, but we flip-flopped Christmases. Do you remember that? So you would have Christmas with me and then Christmas over at his house, but I would still be there, you know. But how was that for you?
I remember one specific Christmas with my dad. That Christmas was lit. I had, like, it was lit. It was at that house on in Gilmore.
Okay.
And he had, like, took me in the basement. The whole entire basement was, like, filled with, like, all kinds of stuff. And I think you guys, like, collaborated, because I didn't have, like, one at your house, one. It was like the whole entire basement, though. And that basement was a nice size, like the size of this room. It was just, like, filled with stuff. I was in that basement playing for days. Like, where Kaela? She in the basement. It was like, I remember that one was lit.
Yeah. So do you think it's important for families that may be separate
It's
to
definitely
share
important. I've seen in, like, some scenarios where, like, the children or the child will have Christmas at mom's in the morning, and then the dad will come get them and have Christmas at dad in the afternoon. I've seen where they collaborate and, like, come to one house and do it together. But I definitely think it's important. I think children are supposed to have both of their parents, like, especially around the holidays and things like that. I think that is important, and to still do, you know, something together as a family, because you are, even though you're not, you know, together, you're still a family, and you as parents are still obligated to raise that child together. So you have to. I think that's important, and I had that.
Yeah, and you also bring up a good point, because regardless of the situation, together or not, if you bring a child into the world, it's a family.
Yeah.
And just because the adults can't seem to make it work, that little person is still watching.
Yeah, because I think of it like, you know, you consider your really close friends your family. So just because it didn't, you know, work out in that aspect, now you guys are co-parents, and that's still family. Friends, like, you and my dad are friends now. So
yeah, like, we're best of friends now.
yes,
so.
I think that's important. I do.
Okay. All right. I think for me, it's very important, because you're always watching. The kid is always watching, right? And stuff break down every day. We weren't the first to get divorced, and now we weren't the last people. We will not be the last people to get divorced. But at the end of the day, that little person, you in this instance, is watching. And I think it's important that, you know, you check your feelings at the door and realize that you have responsibility, not only for the moment, but the future, so that if you see something that didn't work healthy, you get an idea.
Right.
Like, so did you notice, like, or did you draw any conclusions?
No, and it's funny now, because my dad, and I'll hear you guys, y'all will talk about times when y'all were not, like, at the best of, like, spaces, but I never could gauge that, like, as a child. It's important to see, because you have to be, like, a united front when you're raising a child, and you gotta seem like it has to be I still saw love between you two, and that was important because it's like, I could tell that you guys still cared for each other. Like there was still a certain respect that you guys gave each other that I saw every time, you had guys interacted, whether it was pickups, drop-offs, birthdays, or things like that. And that's important to see because it as a child, because you're with I was with my mom majority of the time, because there are situations where dad has the child majority of the time, but I was with my mom majority of the time. So in certain instances, and I have seen that too, if you weren't, or you guys didn't present like you guys were always good, then the child watching that now has perceived things about father, and now it's like, well, I don't want to go over dad's house because he this, that, and the third to my mother, and because you're the majority parent, it's like, well, organically you side with that. So like it was never anything like that, and I think that's because I have seen that. I've seen that too, where it's like, nah, I don't mess with my dad because he did this and did that, and I'm like, I love my dad.
Wait, does he call me baby mama sometimes? What
he
he call
call
me?
you? He call you Mudro. Yeah, I don't know. He got 1,000 names. He's a goofy somebody. My father. He is really goofy. No, but I know that he just watching as an adult, like your conversations, he calls you more than he calls me. Like seriously, and you guys have a really great friendship, and I like see that. I saw it as a child, but like now as an adult with more like information and like knowing the dynamic of the entire relationship, you guys are really really close, and you guys call each other, talk about your daughter, his daughter, whose ever daughter I am that day, and and you guys are just it matters, and it's small but it's big because it weighs on how I was raised and like my character development and all of those things.
So I know the focus of this episode is about the holidays, but I'm going to stick on relationships for a minute because it's so important and they transcend actually, that word love is deep when you talk about parenting, but you have relationships with your friends, coworkers, you even have relationships with strangers, whether you know it or not, but it's important. And sometimes you don't realize when you're in a situation that other people have it worse. Whether it's, I don't know, I only want to imagine what worse could be because my worst was probably somebody's picnic, considering the way life is set up. But in the end, it's all important because people suffer inside. It could be a relationship where a father can't see his children. And as much as he's tried, the mother is just not allowing him to spend time, not only on Christmas, but period, to spend time with his children. And it could be flip, could be the mother trying to spend time as well. But I think about situations like that, and also think about people that I may encounter at work who don't have family, don't have children, can't have children, and they can't experience it. So mental health over the holidays is something that we all should be mindful of, because you can only assume what a person's going through. You can't look at it and say, life is just so wonderful, because you never know, because we all look good on the outside.
Yeah, that's that seasonal depression thing that it's called when around the holidays or the colder months. People just seem down, loss of family members, around the holidays. Holidays are always different when you lose someone who is like close to the family. Like for instance, when Nana passed away, the dynamic from when Nana was here, far as holidays and things like that, to after, I definitely can tell the difference. Like it's still fun and family, but it's different. So, people do experience like sadness around those times because it's like, I miss when it used to be like this. It's like bittersweet feelings because you're happy that you get to spend time with your family, your loved ones, but it's also like it's not hitting the same as it used to.
I know, because I do miss Nana. Those Christmases were wonderful.
Those holidays, period, were wonderful. I don't remember what holiday it was, but as a kid, I used to just be laughing at y'all, man. I used to just be laughing at y'all. I don't know what holiday it was at Nana house that one time, but the fireworks was going off outside and somebody knocked on the door and somebody like, hit the deck. And me and Winston hiding under, we couldn't pick a high spot. We was under the table and then we went behind the refrigerator. Then we just in Nana. She's there.
No, what you're talking about? It was New Year's Eve.
Oh my goodness!
My grandmother lived in the hood, and 12 o'clock came, and it's pop, 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 guns everywhere.
Hit the deck, and all I remember is Nana.
Everybody is under the table.
Nana sitting in her chair, hiding behind a fireplace like this. It's like, Nana, you didn't even try to move. Like, what if somebody really was trying to come in here? And then what made it even worse, the fireworks are going off. Somebody yelled, it was you knocking on the door.
Yes, it was.
You came from somewhere and you knocking on the door and somebody yelling, hit the deck, and then they go and open the door.
No, they didn't open the door.
Somebody did open the door.
Finally.
From like behind, like they hiding, like they ain't know somebody opened the door. I'm like, why would you let them in? If we think we're at harm, or if someone's trying to cause harm to us because it's popping and they yelling, hit the deck, why would we open the door?
Because it was me out there fussing. Like, I could get hurt, let me in. Because y'all left me for dead, for real.
They did. Oh.
I'm banging on the door, let me in.
No, seriously, that was hilarious. And we laughed about that for a couple hours. You know what? Next holiday, I'm going to randomly just yell it and see what they say. I'll be like, hit the deck. Let's see.
No. No, but really, memories like that. Although Nana has passed on and other people may have experienced loss, memories kind of keep you going. And that's really important.
For sure. It definitely does keep you going. That one was...
We had a lot of memories.
That one was down for the books, though. Yeah. I'll never forget that. I'm tell my kids about that story. I'm going to be like...
Yeah. We have some good memories.
We do have some good ones. Yeah. I'm blessed.
As long as you know.
I am.
As long as you know.
I am blessed.
Yeah.
But no, back to relationship though. I feel like sometimes it's how blessed and like the way that you and dad and like the village and the family like took care of me. I do see in like other people that I've met and have had like relationships with, like almost like a small like envy, like because they were not raised that way or they cannot relate to like at the most minor inconvenience I can call my mother or my father and it's like taken care of. Like they don't have that relationship with, they haven't experienced that. So it's like even as an adult, like I can count on my parents to help me get from this to this. If this is what I want to do and I've shown like, okay, I want to do this, I need help with this, or I can count on my parents to do that for me. And everyone doesn't have that, like, and so I do know like I'm just blessed all around because people don't have that.
Yeah. But it is a blessing, but it doesn't mean that the person that doesn't have that aren't blessed.
No,
it's just
they
different.
are. It's just a different type of blessed. But just speaking on that, like specifically, because like I am an adult, and some of my friends, their parents have stopped doing things for them as soon as they turn 18.
I threaten you every day. I'm gonna do it one day. Cut you off. OFF.
When I have a grandbaby.
Don't rush.
That's when you gonna cut me off. That's when I'll become chopped liver once I bring a grandbaby in here, because then it's gonna be like later with you. What's my grandchild doing? But until then, mommy, I don't.
Mm-hmm. It's the holiday season, and not sizing up blessings. Just, we all are blessed, and the season is really about giving.
Mm-hmm.
You give love. A song, Give Love on Christmas Day.
Yes.
You really give love. And you don't have to just give it on Christmas.
No.
Right? So giving love is very important in our family. And I think all that what we talked about as far as like creating the vibe for Christmas and going out, doing the Christmas shopping and everything, it's really a way to give love.
Yeah.
And you don't have to give love monetarily. You can give love via time, and that's a conversation, or you just want to hang out with someone, or, whatever. Or you could go to church and serve on any type of organization that would help needy families, or donate to Salvation Army. There's a lot of ways to give love.
Yeah. And you can show, like you said, love in different ways, spending time and things like that.
I have a childhood memory. Actually, when I was younger, I would probably say maybe 10, around that age, on up to teenage years. At Mondawmin Mall, there used to be, I don't know if it was a Murphy's or a Woolworth, but we would, like, we practiced our coins every day. We would put them in the bank. So around Christmas time, we would get to dump the bank out and cash the money in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Nano, whoever would give us money, and we would have like $20, $30, and we would all go, like me, Uncle Mooch, and, all of the people in my group. We would go to the Smurfy's or Woolworths, and we would have like $25, $30, and we would shop, and we would buy everybody something in the Murphy's for Christmas. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that was fun, and it does have, you can build up to it. Everybody don't have a lot of money laying around.
Yeah.
So even if throughout the whole year you just tuck $1 aside, and we pick one day and say we're going together as a family to shop, I think that would be fun, because I do remember. How do you give on Christmas if you don't have anything to give?
Spending time with your family and loved ones, or just, I think you have to be creative, of course, but there are things that you can do. Like, you have children, or you're spending time with, if you don't have children, you can have like nieces or nephews, spending that time with them. For instance, when the parents need to go out and do the shopping or things like that, and baking cookies, or things like that, helping them make a gift for their mom or dad to give to their mom. Like, those kinds of things are how you can give love and spend quality time with those people that you care about. That's giving on Christmas. That's showing love.
Now I'm going to play devil's advocate, because what I said could be taken two ways. The way you answered it, but then there's a person who's just flat out tired out there. Life just been lifing, and they are at their wits' end, and they feel like they have nothing to give. And for that person, I personally, because I remember a time and space where I visited that area, I would suggest that they would force themselves to be with a different, put themselves in a different atmosphere, and maybe be with another family, or force themselves just to go out and experience the various things that are available to celebrate the holiday. Would you have anything to add to that?
I think, getting close up with a friend who still whose family still does the whole holiday workup and things like that, that could help you just not sit in it. Because that's important, to not just sit in it. You do have to force yourself sometimes to like get out of the rut, because if you sit in it, it'll consume you, and you won't ever like
See the light.
or progress. You do have to like take that step to like force yourself at some point. And of course, when you first get there or if you first doing it, it's gonna be uncomfortable. But once you lean into it, you'll find yourself like being okay, at least for that moment.
Yeah. But you have to put in the work,
Yeah.
you know. It's easy to sulk and sit in. For me, it was. And, you know, I was blessed in that I had a village to reach in and say, hey, you know, I haven't heard from you in a couple of days. What you doing over there? Because you did speak about a period of time where I was unemployed. And it was really hard for me, especially being the independent person that I am and have always been. It was hard to depend on an unemployment check because it's not equivalent to a regular check. And you're accustomed to a way of living and you have to pivot. And in my circumstance, I had to do all of that and not let my child know, because the last thing I would want to do is have you worry. And it's a lot. So in that scenario, I had nothing to give because I was tired. And I was tired of getting the thanks but no thanks for the job interviews. And I was tired of just being tired. So yeah, I had to force myself. You know, people would reach out to me and say, hey, it's not about money, just come on. You know, let's go for a walk. Let's go to the movies or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah. No, but Mom, although you say like you didn't have like anything to give in those moments or those times, I wanted to just say like you did give though. And like I said earlier, one, I didn't know we were going through a hardship. So that was excellent on your job on your end because I had no idea. And then when we spent time, we did things creative. Also, I don't know if this was that during that time, but I do remember one time when we were like powerless in the house and you made it a game and we spent time together and I just thought we was doing something new or spending time together. So you did give, you never stopped like pouring into me. You did show me love. We had a great like household dynamic.
So through it all, throughout the good times and the bad times, there was love.
A lot of it.
It was. And there are great memories. And I would encourage others, whether it would be in a family situation, a single situation, or what have you, hold on to love because that's the most encouraging thing that we have. And particularly during Christmas. Go out of your way to give love to someone. You gonna do it? I would, you know what I would say? The person, I'm not going to say like and not like because I think that's petty. People that you don't typically associate with, go out of your way to do something special for them. I think we should have a challenge.
Okay.
Do you think you could do that?
Yeah, I could do that.
What'd I just say?
You said somebody who you don't particularly, hang with on a regular or, spend time with or care for. I don't know what word we use, but go out of your way to do something nice for them.
And I think it will make you feel so good.
You think so?
I do. Do it.
Okay.
I believe that Christmas is all about giving, all about love and showing love, not receiving. I believe that love will carry you through the holiday season and just plain out life. What do you believe?
I believe that I have the best mother on the planet.
Thank you so much. That's my baby. That's my mini me for those of you who don't know it already. But she is. Kaela Rashawn, I am so thankful to you for agreeing to come. I know this is not your jam, but you agreed to sit down with me and spend this hour, hour and a half, or however long it is, y'all, with me. But we have fun. And the most important thing is to realize that family is important, showing love is important, and just having fun with it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Sean Monet, Hidden Parts, the podcast. Follow, like, share, subscribe, but come back.
Hi, friends. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Please remember to subscribe, follow, like, and share. You can also find out more about us, the Hidden Parts podcast, as well as watch this recording and many others at my website, www.the-inner.me. Bye.